All right, everybody, let's talk about the genetic aspects of behavioral disorders. So, Dr. Cummings, she says that there is evidence that he reviewed in his study that supports the concept that many disruptive childhood and adolescent behavioral disorders, things like ADHD, Tourette's syndrome, learning disabilities, substance abuse, oppositional defiant disorder, and conduct disorder, are part of a spectrum of interrelated behaviors that have a strong genetic component. A lot of them are polygenically inherited. A lot of them share a number of genes in common that affect dopamine, serotonin, and other neurotransmitters, and are transmitted from both parents. So there is a genetic component to behavioral disorders. Um, some of these implications of his hypothesis and that are related to the diagnosis and treatment are reviewed, and a lot of them include the possibility that genes are involved, and they also might be increasing in frequency. So that's very important. Another thing is having lower levels of intelligence increases the risk of behavioral disorders. There's a strong IQ has a strong correlation with genetics. So depending on which psychometrician you ask, and there's a lot of varying studies, IQ is going to be 40 to 80% genetic. Dr. Herrnstein and Dr. Murray, they explain in their book, The Bell Curve, that studies done on separated identical twins found that IQ is between 75 and 80% genetic. Furthermore, there's a study done by doctors at Georgia State University and the Medical University of South Carolina involving boys. The boys, they provided saliva samples to test for testosterone as well, and they were also evaluated on their cognitive ability, academic achievement, and behavioral symptoms. So boys that had higher levels of testosterone were associated with withdrawal and aggression, and that was especially among older boys. And they also were more likely to have low social involvement in activities, and that was especially among younger boys. So after the doctors doing the study controlled for intelligence, testosterone accounted for 16% of variance in aggression and 36% of the variance in social withdrawal. So there is a pretty strong correlation there, 16% with aggression and 36% with social withdrawal among the boys with higher levels of testosterone. And testosterone levels are inherited. They have very much to do with a child's genetics. So testosterone, it was not directly related to cognitive ability, but boys that had a lower cognitive ability were more adversely affected by having that higher testosterone levels. So the findings in the study, they suggested that testosterone may be a useful biological marker for children at risk for these disruptive behavioral disorders. So, and the study just did boys, so the people doing the study do not know that if girls would have a similar relations. But with the boys, it did show that those higher testosterone levels did affect behavior disorders. So from my experience, most of the students at my school that are on behavior plans are male. Most of the students that have ADHD and other behavior disorders are mostly male. And also, when I'm coordinator at the Boys and Girls Club, most of the people that have to call home or that are acting out and need to get suspended, things like that, they're disproportionately male. So these findings might have something to do with this. The higher testosterone levels might have something to do with those behavioral disorders.